name before, okay?
I wanted to give you names.
Okay.
You do know I'm Miss Turner.
I know you're Miss Turner, and you know, if you work for Social Security, actually your name and your income and everything shows up online. But these people don't even want to give me their names because they're doing. Can you call them? Because you know what would solve all my problems? I don't have to deal with your office if they would just give me either my benefits or give me my hearing. You know, I'm not even asking for money. Give me I have a right to the hearing, and they're deliberately not giving me my hearing.
I understand what you're saying. I do, and I don't want to put you off.
Okay.
But I am limited myself.
Right.
On what I can answer.
Right. Okay.
Do for you.
Okay. So if you could pass it through, since actually it can go higher than Ms. Chima, since after all, the Secretary of DHMH, hand signed the letter and sent it to Senator Cardin's office. So we know it's gone high up. And then, because he couldn't back it up, he resigned. So why don't you just ask the governor and the county executive to answer these issues?
Well,
so we can kind of bypass all of the little people.
Ms. Chima went to the manager, here.
Okay.
And she, unfortunately, is in a meeting.
Okay.
She said that she does not know how long it might be.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to speak with her, she's willing. If you want to.
I think at this
she
point.
gave me her card.
Right.
That I can give to you.
Okay. At this point, I think everything is kind of exceeded way beyond what I planned. So I think if you want to
pass this on to her.
If you can pass this on to her, and if she can take care of it, so if I can just have a card, and can I have a card?
Yes.
So I just know who got the information and who's going to be held responsible down the road.
She's going to. She said if you wanted to wait.
Okay.
But unfortunately, she doesn't know how long.
Oh no.
Or said that she will tell you.
I did mention this. The last time I spoke to you. Okay. I think this is going to be the final thing I say. The last time I came and spoke to you, right?
Yes.
And I was able to carry on a 1-hour conversation. Okay, that was fine. But I still had the underlying medical condition, which what's happening right now is basically I'm extremely dehydrated. So my throat isn't extremely dry. So I can talk like 10 or 12 minutes, and then after that I'm kind of done for the day. So I kind of have a limit on that. So I don't really want to sit and talk with someone for an hour. So that's one of the reasons I stick everything on paper. So and that's the same thing with the Social Security hearing. If they would take my stuff and look at it first and put it in, then when I come to the hearing, I just answer the few questions they have, just like you wanted to ask me. So in no way I'm going to try to debate someone or talk for an hour. I just stick it on paper, and I just want to make sure people, because these days it's kind of important that even agencies that, even though they can say that it's out of their scope, it's kind of for the public to judge what kind of things, what kind of help you're supposed to give, because social services is kind of broad-based. They're more like a coordinator, so it's not so mechanical as saying, okay, you have this, and this, you get these benefits. That can be done on a computer. This is kind of, you're supposed to find people's problems, and that's how you all do it. When you all go for funding, or when your private contractors go for funding, and when you go to Congress or whatever, or whoever goes up and tries to get the money, they say, what we can do differently is we bring all the stakeholders together, and then we go out and we find what the customer wants. So they kind of make it look like they're really being helpful. We go out and we find what they want, and that's kind of how you all get your funding. So it's not, if it could be done like by a computer check or whatever, then you won't actually have people here. So it's kind of like a broad scope, but it's not that because you have the broad scope I'm putting the burden on you, because your office has done a lot of wrong things. And the main problem I have is this social services office is part of Montgomery County government, which is very different than many other counties, right? Because they have state employees. So So you're a county employee, right?
That is correct.
Okay, and it says essentially this is Montgomery County property and this and that. So when there's an issue with the Montgomery County Police, and as I pointed out, the police is not a sheriff. The police is appointed by the county executive, and he kind of has the same kind of, and the police department kind of ranks equally to your department. It's just one of many agencies in Montgomery County. So when the police chief does something, and so it's directly linked to you, even though you can say you are this department, but that department also, I have no control. You guys share information all the time, and you guys get together. It's kind of, you guys get together, share information, do things, and put me on the side, basically, right? I mean, you're not working on my side. You guys are all together as one team, right? I mean, that's how it works. You all gang up because you all are together, and so I don't really, so I kind of make people eat their words for things. So since the county did this,
but can I talk?
I'm gonna, since they did this, I'm gonna change the dynamics where I would come in and debate or whatever. No, because if I debate, they're going to send the cops here to come and get me. So why should I do that?
Can I talk?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
I cannot answer to what happened with your case in the past.
Okay.
I've been your case manager since August.
Okay.
And anything from August to now,
okay.
If you had any problems with anything, then absolutely I could sit here and
does it show in the computer anything coming up from before? Because isn't it strange that just before you came on, within like a 2-month period, they had 4 different agents assigned to me? Would that be a good way to run an operation? I mean, you guys go and get funding. Would you tell people that, well, we need 4 people to 4 case? We have to go through 4 case programs?
Again, I can't answer to anything that happened.
Okay, but she could, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I think since I've spoken.
My goal is with all of my customers, not just you.
Okay.
My goal, personally,
with
all of my customers, is to provide customer service.
Okay.
And to make sure that your case is handled promptly and accurately.
Right. So I would rather have the things go to like a hearing office where I can have a safer environment, where I don't have different agencies from Montgomery County coming in to threaten me. So if I'm in a hearing office, that's probably better.
Okay, let me finish talking.
Okay.
Let me finish talking.
Okay, sure.
My goal, like I said, is to make sure that cases are handled timely, quickly, promptly, and to make sure that benefits are distributed.
I know.
When they should be distributed for the correct amount.
Sure.
Now, our appointment today specifically was to do a recertification for the food stamps and for the TDAP program, which is your disability cash. Those programs are set to close, or I should say the current certification period is through the end of next month, so June 30th. By June 30th, there are certain things that have to be done in order for those benefits to continue. And if those things are not done, then the benefits end and they don't continue. My goal is for individuals such as yourself that are in need of food stamps and cash assistance. My goal is to make sure that I do everything I can do with you to make sure that those benefits continue.
Sure. So if they get denied, I do get some kind of hearing, right?
If you have your case closed, you'll get a letter in the mail saying that your case closed. It will say why your case closed, and it will state if you disagree with that closure, you can file an appeal.
You file an appeal, and that goes to the Fair Hearings Office, right?
Yes.
And when you file an appeal, go ahead.
Here's the thing, though.
Sure.
If you want those benefits to continue, we have to have a interview. I have to be able to ask you questions. And you have to be able to answer those for me. You have to turn in a signed redetermination package.
So what's like the deadline for all this then?
June 30th.
So June 30th,
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I have to have my interview with you before I know all the verifications that I need to request.
Sure.
So until I can have an interview with you and ask the questions that I'm required to ask, I can't tell you what other possible verifications you might need to turn in.
See, because here's the point.
So if I can't do an interview with you, I can't get to that second step and get a checklist for what I need to have returned. And everything has to be completed by June 30th or your case closes. I am telling you that I don't want to go until June 30th and then have your case closed because we were unable to do what I need to do with you.
Now if it does close and I file an appeal, I think if I file within like a certain number of days, I can have the benefits continue until the hearing. Is that how it goes, or?
Yes, that is how it goes.
How many months is that? Would it continue?
Well, it continues until you have your hearing and a decision is made. However, you do need to understand that if you go to that hearing and they file in favor of Department of Social Services and you received benefits, all that money that you received, the food stamps and the cash, would have to be paid back.
After the account got closed.
After the hearing.
Not for right now. You're right.
After the hearing.
Got it.
And I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying from the closure. So if they close June 30th, you come in July 1st and say, I want to file an appeal. I want my benefits to continue until my appeal. Yes, we will continue to give you benefits, but then say your hearing is in August. And they file against you, then you have to pay back July and August cash.
It won't really hurt things to push things out a couple of weeks then.
No, it won't, and that's what I want to offer you.
I guess that gives plenty of time for Miss Pagini or Pagini. How do you say her name?
Maria.
I didn't see the spelling exactly anyway, so.
So if you would like, I will schedule you. If you don't want to come in, if you want to do it over the phone, I can schedule you for a phone interview.
Right. If you could, I guess, have her read this and deal with this first, or, so I just want to make sure that someone reads this first, and then I guess we can schedule the interview.
I can't deal with this, though.
But she can.
I'm going to give this to her to review.
Right, and she can just pass it right up to the head of the department. I mean, you don't have to. I just want to make sure I get it.
But she's the person who needs to look at it in this office. I can't deal with this. I am dealing with your food stamping.
I know, because once you put stuff in here, it's you putting it in, but other people are getting the information out.
There are a limited number of people that can look at your case.
That's what you're saying.
Not everybody can come in and look at your case.
They have broken every single rule and law. So, once you break the rules...
Again, I can't... I understand what you're saying, but I can't deal with that.
If somebody called you, asked you to look it up, and if you wanted to, couldn't you do it?
I'm not permitted to give information to anybody who calls.
But you could do it. You could physically do it.
Yes, I can.
That's important, and that's the point I'm making.
But we have confidentiality requirements as part of my job. If someone just calls and they're not listed on your case as a representative,
but it wouldn't apply.
I apologize, I can't give you information.
But it really applies. I guess these rules. As you can see, they break these rules regularly. So if they didn't break the rules, then if I can be confident that, you stick it in, it's confidential. And I know so much information has gone through that other people are calling me and asking for information, and they have had the information which I gave to your office. So it's very clear.
There are some people that we are mandated to give that information to.
And to who is that?
Well, when we had the contract with DEEP, we did give that information to DEEP. If you were receiving disability cash assistance, your information was passed on to DEEP.
But
we had a contract with them that mandated that they work with you and that you work with them. So your information would have gone to DEEP in a situation like that. But that's a very specific contract that we have.
But the person was calling from Maryland Health Connection. The person, and this is what I mean. I talk about a lies. The person who called, they call
I can't.
And that's what I mean.
We're not going to talk about that.
So if you can get it through, that's the main thing. I just want to get because as you learned with Social Security, I mailed it in, and they still deny they received it. So in this way, I know you got it. I know you got it.
Absolutely.
I'm not holding you responsible.
need to know, do you want to schedule an appointment with me?
Excuse me. Can I see you for a minute?
Okay, I can just leave. That's I'm done. Yeah, if you can just pass it up, and if they can.
Would you like to reschedule the appointment with me, though?
After someone contacts me with this, can they email me? Let me give you my email address. I think that's better.
Will you write your email?
Sure. Yeah, so I think Mrs. Jackson used to do that. She used to email it, so. Okay, so, yeah, let me just do that. Yeah, I think it's better to kind of not discuss the whole thing here since it's kind of, we spent some time here anyway. So, do you know your people, your friends, your government friends, they send me spam email. DHMH, they have a contract called MedStar Family Choice, and they have an office in Wisconsin, and they send me spam for stuff like dentures, jobs in Milwaukee. What would I be doing in Milwaukee? So when they started spending, so can you see how malicious the things are? In this day, everybody knows if somebody's sending you, if someone takes the time to go in and put your email address in, let me just see, yeah, and they've been sending me spam email, and that's one of the requests I have. So when you pass it up through the state, tell them not to send me spam email. Or, well, actually, they don't send me spam email. They go to these various sites, they sign me up for jobs, dating, dentures, furniture. I get hundreds of emails. What I want to do is, if someone gives me an email address, I want to send those emails and show you what these people are doing. And it's not, I don't know anyone in Milwaukee. The only one who's in Milwaukee is an outsourcing office for MedStar Family Choice, and they're the same people connected with DHMH. In that letter, Secretary Mitchell from DHMH wrote, he mentions MedStar specifically. He says MedStar did nothing wrong. So, and this is part of the same state government, and it's like, I don't want to, this is kind of tiring to people when they hear that. I do understand that you're one individual here, but your department is, I guess, it's either Montgomery County government or DHR. They all connect and link, and they can kind of be responsible for each other too. So, right. Do you want me to, do you have your, I guess, is it like Mrs. Jackson said? I can actually send you, I can actually show you the emails they send me. They have hundreds of thousands of emails for dentures, for jobs.
If you want to talk to Ms. Pagnini about that.
Right, and you can see, and so you're telling me someone who would do that would not get information out of a database they get access to, or they can have someone to get access to. That's a really malicious act to set. And, I am going to try to refer it up to Wisconsin, see if they can prosecute up there. Because I know Maryland is kind of, they're all together. You guys are all together. So if I can get Wisconsin to look into why those people are signing me up for spam, because spam, that's actually illegal. It's not like a huge crime. It's like a small crime. But it's illegal to go and sign people up for spam, so they get hundreds of, and I depend on my email, and my vision is also blurred, so I have a real hard time when I look into the computer and I see 200 messages with junk, and I'm relying on, like, if you send me something, right, one piece of information, but everyone knows spamming is a real malicious act. Nobody goes and signs people up for 10, 20 different sites. That takes a lot of time. That's like someone going and keying somebody's car, It takes a lot of time and effort. It's a real malicious act. So the same person has no problem if they can access the computers, not through you, but to somebody else who wants to pass along the information. And that's the kind of problem I have. So that's the Maryland DHMH. That's their people, MedStar Family Choice. I guess you've heard of them. It's MedStar. They're a managed care organization, and they're doing that. So, and they're the only ones who can do it, because, of course, once I said something, they send me from all over the place now. But I guess they weren't smart at the beginning, so they thought they would they literally, you do realize that that's like an MCO, so it's a Medicaid. It's just like here. It's like for the poor people. So they're supposed to be in Wisconsin. I don't know why they haven't outsourced there, but they're in Wisconsin, and they handle all the customer service for the Medicaid patients, the same people who come through this office, right? So the Medicaid patients so they're in Wisconsin, and they handle it for MedStar Family Choice, and they actually have those employees on company time using their devices, going into the various websites, I guess, dating.com or match.com or whatever, and then going in, and my name is like a unique name, and this email address is kind of unique. So they have to. So it's not some wild guess. They have to go in, put my name, put my email address. It takes time. It takes a whole bunch of keystrokes, and they're doing it for so many different websites. So if someone can do something like that, they'll do a lot. And that's the point I'm making. So even though you're like one person who would not do it, somebody else who has access to the system would, and they've already done it. So, but I don't want to send it back to you. I guess if your supervisor, if she's going to contact me, I'm not going to send it to her. I'll check with her first if she can send it, and if she could pass it along to the head, I guess, to the secretary of DHR or whoever, or because this is kind of confusing because you're with the county government, and then you're also with DHR, right? I mean, my benefits come from DHR, right?
Yes, they come from the state of Maryland.
Okay, yeah, so if they could send it to DHR, that would be helpful, because DHR and DHMH are kind of sisters kind of thing. So, and they can tell the other secretary that to not have their, of all things, Medicaid employees who are supposed to be doing like the poor people's work and with entirely tax money, so it's not some private thing, and they're sitting there and they must have spent hours to keep doing this stuff, and they send me so many emails. But if somebody can't tell me, I don't want to print them all out, but I like to forward some of them so they can see where it's coming from. And it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the mistake they made at the beginning when they started doing that. Their devices. How the thing works is if you go into a site like Match.com, if you're sitting in the computer in Silver Spring, they'll kind of focus the attention. The whole advertising is aimed towards Silver Spring, Maryland. So when they go like for the job sites, it comes up like jobs in Milwaukee or meet singles in Milwaukee. Why am I looking for jobs in Milwaukee? I'm living all the way in Maryland. I have absolutely no connection, and it's not like I know some malicious person who's in Wisconsin just spending all their time to get at me. And so this is what I mean. So when people do that malicious act, and when people at Social Security, when I spent all that time, I got the stuff to them, and they actually tell me a lie that they didn't receive it, and then they have these weird excuses like the phone wasn't working, and they couldn't understand me. I mean, how could they not understand me? And they understood when I called at the front desk. They understood there, so I'm not sure why they wouldn't understand me on the voicemail. But so it kind of what happens is everything adds up. So then and you can see if I'm like one person on one side, and on your side you have like 100 different agencies, and then you have 200,000 employees, and it's easy. One person can say they drove the truck, and the other person tied the person to the back of the truck, but ultimately the person is getting dragged. So you can kind of say, well, I drove the truck, I didn't do anything. I tied the person to the back of the truck, I didn't do anything. But that's kind of how people work together. So so then it kind of because that really rubbed me wrong from the beginning, because when I came to your office, because I kind of saw this problem coming from a long time in April of 2013. But you can kind of understand, I guess, you're not going to read it, your supervisor is going to read it, and so if she can kind of email back to me, and then she kind of tells me what's going on, then I can like contact you for I guess a phone interview, right? That's probably better?
I can do a phone interview. Just
Okay.
to verify though, the address that the phone number that I have is 240-475-7737.
Right,
Is that
yeah.
a good number?
Sure, yeah. And Mrs. Jackson always used the email, and that worked out really good. So,
Sure.
so you could use an email, but if I can get some kind of a feedback from someone who's actually read it, I mean, it's not that long.
No, but I reviewed some of it, but it is not something that's at my level.
I understand. Right. I mean, the main reason I got it to you is you do realize it's not just Social Security. At various times I sent things into DHMH with certified mail and stuff, which shows they received it, and they completely ignore it. So in this way, I actually got it to a person. So is that okay? So that's actually a great accomplishment, because even if I had like the post office come and do a certified mail or FedEx or whatever, if someone is still going to sit here and say that they never received it,
and I'll fully admit that I received it. I'm fine with that.
So I just wanted to get it in, and I think, and so otherwise I could have sent it up to their I guess I could have found the main address and sent it, and they would just ignore it. So I just want to kind of send it.
And that's fine. And what I'll do is when I pass it on to Maria, I'll ask her to let me know once she has spoken to you and addressed the issue with you. Right. And then that way I know that I can contact you.
I do kind of want her to, I think we kind of spoke a lot, but I think I kind of want her to read the stuff first, because that is going to become like a real big problem because I think it actually takes less time if you read it. It's like 20 minutes, right, to read it than actually kind of discuss it. Okay, so if she can take care of that, and we can try to, I guess, squeeze for time and get everything in. But otherwise, I do like to ultimately get a hearing, because I'm being denied my rights to have a hearing in all kinds of places. So this is not a hearing. I like to go to like a legal setting and have a hearing.
As far as Social Security goes, I happened to pull up your Social Security just to make sure you were still pending, because that is one of the requirements for TDAP, that you always have a pending SSI case. And I don't know if you've received the information, but it does have on there that they denied your SSI in April.
That's the problem, right?
Did you appeal that denial? When they sent you the denial, they should have sent you how to appeal it. And you have to appeal those denials to keep moving it.
I'm not going to appeal the denial. I'm going to attack what they did, because this is not a standard denial. Because
you mean Social Security?
Right. How they denied me is they cheated me out of a hearing.
Yeah, see, I don't know. It doesn't. They don't tell us where it was.
Oh yeah.
It just has.
Sure. Right. So they sent denial. So I mean, I wouldn't mind going through the standard process, but something standard didn't happen to me. It's not like I had a hearing and they found. At least they could have. They couldn't be. At least they didn't have to be so cowardly as to do it that way. They could have called me in for the hearing, let me have my say, and then they could make up any lie they want and deny it, and I can appeal it at that point. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But that's not what they did. They made these kind of dog ate my homework excuses
to cheat. You want to follow up on that then? I mean, regardless of why.
How can I follow up with them? That's the problem.
I'm not sure. You might want to contact them directly and ask.
I mean, yeah. So because it's them I'm having the problem with.
If you don't do something, then
I am doing something.
With Social Security.
Yeah, it's actually going to be more public, and it's going to go like different places. So I mean, see, it kind of makes no sense. If someone is hitting you, how are you going to resolve the problem with them? So if they're doing all this to me, I already called, as I mentioned, what happened. So if I call them or send them stuff, the same thing is going to happen all over again. I mean, I don't have a way to force something into them. Now, I do know what the way is, and I think that's kind of where I'm heading to, which I am going to get a court order against Social Security to give me my hearing. And this is going to be like apart from the regular appeal, because they did did it this way because that would make no sense for me to do the appeal route, because that's like for the normal stuff. But this is like abnormal. This is malicious. See, when it's malicious, then you kind of either get a hearing or you get like I guess your congressional representative to help you. That's the kind of thing. And since I already have a contact at Senator Cardin's office, if I needed that, I can do that too. But I kind of want to gather up the information first. But I want to make sure that if I'm saying that someone did something, I have the facts. So, and it's not the same as the standard process. So, okay. So yeah. So I think if you sleep a lot, I guess So I guess at this point it's not that much of a rush for me. I guess she can get in touch with me by like next week.